All right, so we're diving into some really fascinating stuff today. Guided manifestation meditation. I'm really curious to hear your take on this source material.
Yeah, it's interesting how this source kind of tries to blend that idea of wishful thinking with almost like a psychological approach.
Right from the start, they're emphasizing like really clear intentions. I mean, they even say the universe responds to clarity, which is like, whoa. What do you think about that? I mean, does that actually hold up?
Well, it definitely sounds like it's more than just sitting back and hoping for the best. It's like they're saying you need to be really proactive, like defining what you want is like step one.
So, okay, instead of just like, I want to be successful, it's more like painting this really detailed picture, like the emotions, the specific, even like the path to get there. It's kind of like setting a like super specific goal, right?
Exactly. And that actually like lines up perfectly with, goal setting theory in psychology. Like tons of research shows that when you have a super clear goal, you're way more likely to achieve it.
Yeah, it's like if you're going on a trip, you need to know where you're going or else you're just wandering around. So we've got this clear intention, but then the source throws this like pretty intense breathing and relaxation exercise at us.
Oh, yeah. And that's where the mind-body connection comes in.
Yeah.
Like deep breathing, that actually activates your parasympathetic nervous system as your body's chill out mode.
So basically, it helps you relax, de-stress, get focused. Okay, I get it. But then it gets kind of woo-woo because they talk about inhaling positive energy and exhaling doubts and fears. It's like you're literally breathing them out. Is there any science behind that?
Well, I wouldn't say we're literally like sucking in good vibes, but focusing on your breath does help clear your mind. Like you're not stuck in that loop of negative thoughts.
Yeah, it's like creating space for those positive, feelings and thoughts to come in. Okay, so we've cleared the mental clutter, but then the source really pushes this whole vivid visualization thing. They even use the phrase picture your goal in high definition, which I thought was pretty powerful.
Oh, yeah. And that's them emphasizing using all your senses. Like you're not just thinking about it, you're fully experiencing it in your mind, right?
Oh, wow. And then they take it even further, right? It's not just seeing it, it's like feeling it. They call it emotional alignment. You have to like feel the emotions of achieving your goal. What do you think about that?
It's interesting, right? It kind of ties into that whole idea of like self-fulfilling prophecies. In psychology, we see that when people really believe in something, they often act in ways that make it come true.
That's wild, but like how does that actually work? Is it just like thinking happy thoughts and poof, everything's great?
Well, it's not quite that simple. It's like it goes deeper, affecting your like subconscious behaviors. For example, if you think you're going to have a great day, you might be more likely to see things in a positive light.
Oh, I see. So if we can really feel those emotions, like the joy, the gratitude, it's like we're setting ourselves up for success.
Exactly. It's about shifting your inner world to match your desired outcome. Like your emotions affect how you see things, how you act, and ultimately how things turn out.
That's deep, man. So we're not just passively visualizing, we're actively like aligning our thoughts, feelings, and actions. But here's where I kind of get tripped up. The source says to let go of the how and the when, like just trust the process. Isn't action important?
Yeah, that's a great point. And maybe the source oversimplifies things a bit there. Letting go isn't about being passive. It's more about finding that balance between taking action and surrendering.
So what do you mean by surrendering then?
Well, it's recognizing that we're not in total control, right? Like we can do everything right, but we still got to trust that things will unfold in their own way, in their own time.
So it's more about like letting go of that need to control every little thing, right? Like trusting that the path might change, even if we're actively working toward our goal.
Exactly. It's about holding on to the vision, but being open to new possibilities. Like maybe there's a better way, a different route that we didn't even think of.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like, trusting your GPS, even when it takes you on some weird detour, sometimes you end up finding something way cooler, right? Speaking of unexpected turns, the source goes into this whole thing about gratitude, which seems kind of random at first.
It is kind of a left turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think gratitude plays a huge role in how we see the world. And it's not just about feeling good. There's actual like science to back it up.
Yeah, so we're not just talking about like warm fuzzies here. There's like actual research.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like studies have shown that people who practice gratitude, like regularly, they tend to be happier, have stronger relationships, sleep better, even have like stronger immune systems. It's pretty wild.
Wow, that is pretty wild. But how does gratitude tie into this whole manifestation thing? Because the source specifically says that gratitude amplifies abundance. And I'm like, okay, explain that to me.
It goes back to that idea of like alignment. What kind of energy we're putting out there.
Mm.
When we're feeling grateful, we're focusing on the good stuff, the things we appreciate. And that like naturally shifts our energy, making us more open to, receiving even more good things. It's like we're tuning our frequency to abundance.
Oh, I like that. Tuning our frequency to abundance. So by appreciating what we already have, we're kind of making room for more to come in, right? It's like we're saying, hey, universe, we're ready for more good stuff.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the abundance that's already there and that
Right.
can like create this positive feedback loop. And it's not about ignoring the bad stuff. It's about choosing to focus on the good, even when things are tough.
That's so important. It's not about denying the negative. It's about like where we choose to put our energy. And the source says even little acts of gratitude can make a big difference, like making it a daily practice, just a few minutes each day to think about what we're grateful for.
Yeah, that daily practice is key. It's about building that gratitude muscle. And over time, it can really change how you see the world.
It's like a lifestyle, a way of being,
Yeah.
It's not just this one-time meditation. It's bringing visualization, emotional alignment, trust, and gratitude into everything you do.
That's a great way to put it. It's not about like rituals or mantras. It's about cultivating that abundance mindset,
Mhm.
aligning your thoughts, feelings, actions, and trusting that the universe will meet you halfway.
Yeah, totally. Okay, this has been an awesome deep dive, and I feel like we've uncovered some pretty powerful tools. But there's this one thing I'm still kind of stuck on. The source keeps talking about stepping into a new reality. What does that actually mean? Like, how do we make that leap from where we are now to the reality we want?
That's a big question, right? And it gets to the heart of what manifestation is all about. It's about making that choice to see things differently, to see ourselves and the world through this new lens. It's about living as if that reality is already here, even if we can't quite see it yet.
Okay, so I get the concept, but how do we actually do that? Like, visualizing and setting intentions is one thing, but how do we bridge that gap between where we are and where we want to be? It feels like kind of overwhelming. What's the missing piece here?
I think the missing piece is often action. It's about, taking steps that move you toward your dreams. It's about acting as if you're already there,
Yeah.
embracing the qualities of the person you want to become.
So it's not enough to just think and feel it. We got to actually do things that match that reality, right? It's about closing the gap between our inner world and our outer world.
Exactly. It's about bridging that gap step by step. It's about making choices, even small ones, that support your vision.
Like we're laying down the foundation for that new reality to be built upon. It's not just waiting for it to happen, it's creating the space for it to grow.
That's a powerful way to think about it.
Yeah.
We're not just passengers, we're co-creators,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, we're working with the universe to make things happen. This has been so insightful, and I feel like I have a whole new understanding of manifestation now. But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with one final, brain teaser. If you had to pick just one technique from this guided manifestation meditation, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, they're all valuable, but I think the most impactful one, and maybe the easiest to start with, is that daily gratitude practice. It's simple, but it can be so powerful. It shifts your perspective, boosts your mood, and it just opens you up to more good stuff. It's the foundation for everything else.
I love that. It's about choosing to see the good, appreciate what you have, and be open to receiving more. It's something we can all do no matter what's going on in our lives.
Exactly. Gratitude is like a universal key. It unlocks the door to abundance and joy. It helps us tap into all that potential we have inside.
This has been amazing, and I hope everyone listening feels inspired to explore this guided manifestation meditation. We've only just started to unpack this topic, but I really believe that even a small shift in perspective can make a huge difference.
It's about remembering that we're not just watching our lives happen, we're actively creating them. We have so much power, more than we realize.
And that's such an empowering thought. And on that note, we'll move into the final part of this deep dive. Stay tuned as we keep exploring the mysteries of the mind and, all the amazing things we're capable of. Okay, so we've been really digging into this whole guided manifestation meditation thing, and I gotta say, it's pretty mind-blowing. It's not just like wishing on a star, it's like actually taking control, you know?
Yeah, it's really about using like practical tools to understand how our minds work,
Right.
right? Not just positive thinking, but actually like aligning our thoughts and feelings with what we want.
Right. It's like creating a blueprint for your dream life and then using these techniques to like make it real. But honestly, the thing that really stuck with me was the gratitude part. It's so simple, but it's like, whoa, so
For
powerful.
sure. Gratitude, it kind of shifts your focus, right?
Yeah.
From what you don't have to what you do have.
Yeah.
And that like that change in perspective can be huge.
It's like we're acknowledging all the good stuff that's already there, which like opens us up to even more. But where do you even begin with all this? Like for someone who's totally new to manifestation, what would you say?
Well, everything we've talked about is important, but maybe the easiest place to start is that daily gratitude practice. You don't need any special skills or anything, just the willingness to like notice the good stuff in your life, you
And
know?
like taking a minute to appreciate a good cup of coffee or a beautiful sunset, or even just like someone being nice to you.
Hmm.
It's like training your brain to see the positive, which then kind of spills over into everything else.
And the cool thing about gratitude is that you can practice it anywhere, anytime. Be thankful for your health, your relationships, your work, even the tough stuff that teaches you something.
Yeah, finding the silver lining, right. Especially when things are rough. But I'm thinking for someone who's dealing with like negative thoughts or they don't believe in themselves, can gratitude really make a difference?
It's definitely hard to like change your mindset when you're stuck in a negative loop, but gratitude can help. By focusing on what you're grateful for, you're kind of breaking that cycle,
Yeah.
making space for better feelings.
So it's not about ignoring the bad stuff. It's more about like balancing it out with something good, something that lifts you up.
Exactly, like planting little seeds of positivity in your mind that can eventually grow into a more like hopeful way of seeing things.
Hmm.
And remember, it takes practice. Nobody's perfect at it. It's about trying, every day.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. I feel like we just scratched the surface of this whole manifestation thing, but we definitely found some awesome tools for anyone who wants to, create a better life.
Yeah, and it comes down to realizing that we have the power to shape our reality.
Yeah.
It's our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, and gratitude. It's like the key that unlocks all that potential.
So to everyone listening, I encourage you to like play around with these techniques, find what works for you, and be open to the journey. You never know what amazing things might happen. Until next time, keep diving deep and don't stop believing in your dreams.